Live in Western Oregon, this is NBC 16 Today.
Good morning and happy Thursday, Lily. We are so close to the weekend.
Almost there.
Getting ever so closer into the 6 o'clock hour, so our day's halfway done. We're on our way.
We're on our way to a warm day. That sunrise, while it's gorgeous, is it's going to make us pay a little bit today.
Ominous as well, because we know that heat wave's coming. You brought up a good point last hour. Forget about how hot it's going to be. Don't think about that you're going to have to walk your dog early in the morning or late at night. Think about the kids.
Yes.
Last weekend of summer, last 2 weekends of summer, although next weekend might have some moisture coming our way. So last good summer weekend of the summer season. So if you're, I was going to say if you're a kiddo watching this, probably not. But if you're a parent of a kiddo watching this, maybe you inspire your kids to get outside over the next couple of days and enjoy this summer weather while they still have the time. Temperatures in the early morning hours shifting in different ways depending on where you are. A little warmer in portions of the I-5 corridor and then a little bit of a cool down. Gold Beach standing pat at the moment, but still we're kind of balanced right out in that mid to low 50s as we start the day. Florence a touch behind that, but no shock to see that be cooler than what we're seeing along the I-5 corridor. The southern portion of our region into the Umpqua Valley where we're seeing the warmest temperatures, still into the upper 50s. Silver Butte, the only spot climbing into the 60s in the early morning hours of our Thursday. Satellite radar has very little activity as we go forward. Cloud coverage non-existent, no rain opportunities, just clear skies as we move through our day today. The one thing that will be active through the day is the wind conditions. There will be some gusty spots out onto the coast. Gold Beach won't be shocked to be seeing some gusts up into the high 20s. I-5 corridor looking a little more like into the low teens throughout the afternoon hours before calming down later in the evening. With the clear skies throughout the day today, we do expect temperatures to climb up into the low 90s later this afternoon, and that heat wave continuing to come. We have some weather alert days Friday, Saturday, and Sunday along the I-5 corridor, but I'll let Brianna Chavez join us in a few to break that down. Well, let's head out to the roadways and check in with the man himself, the live shot buddy, LSB, out there on the I-5 around Beltline overpass today, where we're seeing light to medium traffic flow on the interstate this morning. We're looking southbound along the I-5, but those northbound lanes, quite a bit of headlights. We'll call that medium traffic flow and light in the northbound lanes, maybe light onto the southbound lanes this morning. The road surface is remaining dry, of course, as we just talked weather. Not a whole lot of moisture in the area over the past bit since this weekend. About 54 degrees at our traffic vehicle this morning, so hopefully LSB has a mocha handy to keep himself warm as he continues to hang out there on those roadways. We'll check back with him, but you know it's a double thumbs up day out there because there are no vehicle accidents to report, nor any delays slowing you down on your, almost forgot what day it was, Thursday morning commute. So buddy, you hop back in that car, keep your hands on 10 and 2, head on to that next mocha. We'll check back with you in roughly 30 minutes.
We want to make sure that residents are safe and are notified, and the preference is always for those notifications to be in person as soon as possible, and not just rely on technology to make sure everyone is informed.
As you are waking up this morning, a level 3 evacuation order is now a level 1 for those in the Hideaway Hills area. We've been following this fire since yesterday evening, the blaze beginning just before 5 p.m. The fire spreading so quickly, deputies from the Lane County Sheriff's Office warning residents by making in-person evacuations. Level 1, be ready. Evacuation notices are still in effect this morning. And here's a look at areas to be very cautious in today. Hideaway Hills to the power line east of Skyhawk Way from Hampton Road south to Dillard Road. Here's that map. And the neighborhood between Dillard Road, Hidden Meadows Drive, Skyhawk Way, and Ridgetop Drive have all been downgraded. All the areas that are level 1 is what that green shaded covering is on the map. There has been no reported cause of this fire yet. This is a developing story. We'll bring you more updates as they come into the newsroom.
Republican colleagues in the House have handed over the power of the legislature, whether it's on tariffs, whether it's holding the executive branch accountable. So it is frustrating, but what we can do is continue to speak up and continue to show up, which is what I'm doing and what I do every day in Congress.
Representative Val Hoyle holding a town hall meeting at South Eugene High School, providing updates to her constituents, as well as taking questions from the crowd. Now, this marks Representative Hoyle's 16th town hall meeting this year and her 4th located right here in Lane County. At the event, hot-button topics were on the forefront of the community's concerns. On the issue of ICE raids, Hoyle says that under the guise of keeping America safe, immigrants are being taken with the help of tax data to places like Portland and Tacoma where they have no families. Hoyle also notes the detriment of the budget cuts on higher education, as well as putting the state billions of dollars behind in federal funding. She also addressed President Trump's attacks on mail-in voting, assuring that states are in control of that aspect of our elections, but emphasized that the move undermines faith in our election system. Meanwhile, and elsewhere, Republican Representative Cliff Bentz faced constituents in the Dalles on Wednesday. Congressman Bentz has not held an in-person town hall since February. This is one of his first public appearances since voting in favor of President Trump's, quote, big, beautiful bill. Yesterday, he met with a few dozen Rotary Club members at a closed-door meeting. He spent half the time touting the bill, the other half defending it. He responded to questions that appeared mostly opposed to the vote.
In April, residents here in Wasco County learned that Donald Trump decided to take back a $20 million grant that had been awarded to our community for the Columbia Gorge Early Learning and Climate Resiliency Hub. This project would have provided childcare and early learning for 200 children in our community.
I'm not Donald Trump, and so the point is, when I heard that had happened, I talked to my staff about it, and we were trying to figure out what the justification was. What we've tried to do when we hear that the executive branch has taken these actions is we try to discern as best we can why, and so we're still in that process.
Bentz talked about the reasons he feels the bill is benefiting rural Oregon with small business tax breaks and more federal land logging, which he claims will prevent wildfires. Media outlets in Eastern Oregon reported that last month he faced a much more receptive crowd at the Eastern Oregon Economic Summit located near Pendleton. And we have a tragic update to a story we brought to you earlier this week. The Eugene Police Department confirming that the cyclist struck by a car earlier this month has died. 21-year-old Elizabeth Cardenas Figueroa, a student at the University of Oregon, was struck while in the crosswalk at 8th Avenue and Hilliard Street in Eugene back on August 8th. A bystander who we met with on Monday and introduced to you jumped in to perform CPR before she was rushed to the hospital. She died from her injuries Monday. EPD says that crash is still under investigation. It is now 6:09 in Coos County. Community members made their stances on the Port of Coos Bay's strategic business plan known yesterday.
Some expressing frustration over how seriously the port is taking their concerns, particularly in regards to the port's plan to expand over the next 5 years.
We're not being heard, and that this is nothing but a song and dance routine for them to check a box, to go through the process, go back to the governor and say, look, we did we met the requirements of doing this strategic plan, now just give us the money.
The primary topic of discussion at the luncheon held at the Coquel Casino was the Pacific Coast Intermodal Port Project. The facility is expected to cost more than $2 billion and is designed to improve rail lines from the port to inland areas of Douglas, Lane, and Coos counties. Port officials say Wednesday's event was a chance to have residents weigh in with their concerns. Some attendees expressing gratitude for the opportunity.
The commissioners and the port staff are working really hard to try to talk with people to see if they can't get something going and to get agreement on that within the community, because this is a community project and this has long-term ramifications for our community.
The massive port expansion has raised about half of its needed funding so far and is expected to be completed around 2030. Community members are invited to express their opinions on the port's operations via an online survey, and we have a link to that survey on our website.